Good morning. This is Michael Edward Reef, and I'm back at Starbucks at the corner of 4th and Union, Seattle, Washington, King County, Rainier Square, if you will. Anyway, I've been doing some thinking, and I remember I was 12 years old. I was at the police academy in Aurora, Colorado. And they used to bring me here to Seattle, and for the Coast Guard side of it, because it was the Air Force side there, Air Force Army side. Communications, behavioral health and stuff like that. And anyway, so we're doing field work in Seattle. And that's where I met a lot of the 90s rock and roll bands, because I had to work with them. But I was in minister school. I'm not really a banker. I know about banking, and I'm not really a stock market guy, but I know about it. I'm like the field hand or whatever. And the ranger, I don't know, Yogi the fucking bear, whatever, right? Officer McGruff. Kids, if you see an emergency, report emergency. Call 911. And anyway, so I was 12 years old, right? They took me to the top of the Ferris wheel at the pier. And two guys in business suits, I thought they claimed to be with the CIA, said they worked for IBM. They said, kid, either you jump out of here or we're going to throw you out and then we're going to kill you. So when they opened the door, I jumped. We were at the very top of the Ferris wheel. And I think it created a big stir in Seattle. And, some people were concerned, citizens were kind of paranoid about us all. So that's what kind of sparked the music generation here in Seattle around 1989. No, 1985, 1986. Let's see, I'm 43 now, so I was 12 years old. So that's a long time ago. So anyway, but it sparked bands like Cinderella and Skid Row and Metallica and Jane's Addiction and Alice in Chains and Guns N' Roses. I went on tour with them. Played guitar with Man in the Shadows. And they invited me to center stage with 70,000 kids in the audience. It was cool. And I was on part of the music video production crews and stuff. So, the reason I was saying, I just took a walk down there, and I look at it kind of like this. You know, I'm from Philadelphia, so this is like a gift from Philadelphia. They once gave me a jacket that said, "If I serve Mid-Atlantic Processing Plant." And on the inside of the jacket was made by the Port Authority. And I just got it back last time I was there, and it was given to me 20 years ago before I came to Seattle. They had me try it on, and a man tried to slice my wrist from behind. And when I jerked my sleeves up, because he wanted to see how much it would roll up my sleeve, my arm. And I threw him on the ground and almost stomped his brains in. But there was another man behind me I didn't see that had a gun. And I think he's from the FBI or something. And I stepped on his wrist when the man with the gun asked, how come you didn't finish him off? So anyway, the guys at the Ferris wheel claimed to be working with IBM. I jumped out. And then it was after a long talk about how I was entering government and everything, and I needed to have supporters. And, well, I mean, I'm a clean guy. I'm not gay. I've never been gay. I mean, that's saying something, right, about what's going on. And I've never plotted out a felony, so that's two things I got going for me. That's since I'm a minister, and I'm not married. I don't own any real estate or any vehicles or anything. So that's my story. But I see a lot of stuff. I guess some of them companies with Homeland Security that I've supported them. They're some of my co-signers, and. I've been a construction worker, a truck driver. Construction worker for about 2-3 years. I was a truck driver for about 4 or 5 years, and I was a cook for a while. In fact, I was on a military base for a year as a cook and a special education teacher at local town high school. I was a substitute teacher, and I was on the football team because I was only 16. But La Junta, it's a military reservation, military criminal justice training site. ROTC. I was 16 and a half to 17 and a half, and I had a PhD. I still got the PhD in government law. and went to music school and dance school all around the world. And there's a final assignment in order for you to be able to leave the country or leave the state. You got to pass the final assignment, which is a bust. So that's how I earned my creds, earned my title. Probably been over part of 40 busts as the man in the box. Busts like that, situations like that. Probably more like 400, but you know. I was in prison for 3 years, 7 months getting water training in general population. In an open dormitory, 42 bunk beds for 18 months. All the associate warden would let the other inmates know is that I'm a lieutenant at least. And so that's the way that went. They got a TV for being really sort of aggressive with me. They got a TV with a radio headset. You can only hear it if they're wearing the headphones. Because all I was doing was reading the Bible to them and singing from the hymnal. I guess they were complaining. But he said, well, I mean, what the fuck? He's a minister. What do you think he's going to do in lockup? Plus, they had me on a hypnotic drug, a sedative hypnotic. And they're like, here's a Bible. Here's a hymnal. Sir. So, anyway, when I was talking to you, hey, Seattle, King County, Washington State. Oh, speaking of, I've worn a uniform of the Seattle Police Department, the King County Sheriff's Department, and the Washington State Patrol Police Department, and the Federal Way, Burien, Bothell, Shoreline, Olympia, and a few more on patrol and everything, and it was fun. It was a lot of years ago. They think I'm more like churchy and business-like. Until somebody sucker punches me, and then, well, they think I'm the Incredible Hulk. They told me. I used to work at the newsroom in Charlottesville, Virginia, NBC 29. Hey, NBC 29, what's up? They got a long history with them. That's why they decided to put me in jail for warden training. Heavily sedated, so I got overworked warden training. They used to do that, put me in the cockpit of an F-16, like Mike. It's an emergency. What do you do? I put my helmet on it, put my hand on the joystick. I said, this is the gun trigger, and this is the missile trigger, right? And I guess over here the throttle. They said, whoa, let me get the hell out of this thing. And then I pushed a button and started lowering the canopy, and then I took off down the runway in an F-16. Heavily sedated, and they put me in the flight jacket and the helmet sitting right next to me. And then they were in my ear like, "You think you can fly this?" I said, "I could barely stay awake, but I give it a try." And off into the wild blue yonder I went. I think I saw the autopilot go on, but that thing only works sometimes when you're taking off and stuff, when you're doing maneuvers. It's kind of like a helper, like a crutch. I mean, you could crash though, you know, even with that thing part of the system. So anyway, it's been a good day. It's been rain. It's supposed to rain all weekend. Miss Houston too. Did the same thing down in Houston I do in Seattle. El Paso and Oceanside too. I was an electronics installer at Pendleton though for one. Just install like cheap shit. Okay, so this is my channel. This is my YouTube channel. I started working on this, tried to put this together 25 years ago. Somebody looked at me, raised eyebrow like, it's been around that long? I worked over at King 5 too, NBC, for the longest time. Way to go, King 5. Oh yeah, I gotta go visit this. I gotta go. See you later, huh?